Okay, so this is the first test of recording while I'm riding and narrating. It's also the first test of my new shocks now that I've got all my bags on. Well, I don't have my rear top case on, but I've got all the other the side cases and my my trunk bag on. So I'm going out to the Durand Eagles for the Friday night fish fry, and then tomorrow we're having a poker run. So hopefully the weather will be nice tomorrow as well, like this, and I can go enjoy the poker run as well. So what I've done here is I've got my ESA 2 set up for one rider with luggage, which is the way it's supposed to be set up when you're carrying your luggage. I rode it yesterday about 100 miles with just myself in sport mode without all the bags on it, and it handled really well. I was very pleased with the performance of it, and overall it was a huge improvement. It was a lot of money, $1,700 for the Wilbers. I had Ted Porter at the Beamer shop in California build them for me. I initially was going to buy the Tractives, which apparently is the company that created the OEM stuff and the ESA 2 stuff for BMW. Then a couple guys went off and started their own thing. But apparently it's such a popular product. Got race cars using them. You got snowmobile companies buying them. That and it's a small little company. So I guess they just can't keep their production up enough to be able to fulfill all the little guy orders. So what was supposed to be a 4-week wait would have turned into probably sometime like August or September. It's basically the 3rd day of June right now. And I didn't want to miss the entire summer not being able to ride a motorcycle. So I went ahead and opted for the Wilbers, which I could have had within probably 10 days of when I first talked to Ted about them. Instead, I waited 6 weeks. But it's all good. All good, no problem. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head out to Durand. I'm going to take the long way. I'm going to go from here through Linden and then out through Byron and Argentine. It's a real pretty ride out there. I don't know how long this recording is going to last or how much I want to narrate it, the entire process, but I'm going to see how much of it I can record of that ride. It shouldn't take me more than an hour to get out there, and they say it's 2.5 hours recording time. This is the Sena Prism camera with the Sena 10U showy Neotech helmet Bluetooth system combination. There we go. So I've seen some reports that only get 35 minutes of recording time. I did buy a spare battery, but I don't have it with me because I haven't charged it yet. So let me put my cover down here and see if this is any better. Actually, probably going to go muffled. Let me raise up a little bit. There we go. So yeah, so that's it. So got a little bit of riding here to do to get to the fun part of this ride. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the camera off and pick it up when I think something interesting is going to happen. Okay? Okay, sports fans. So here we are in a little town called Linden, Michigan. This is where my grandchildren live. Actually, just right over there, about a mile and a half or so. But we're not going to go there today. We're going to go through the town of Linden here, which has a speed limit of 25 miles an hour. And then we're going to head out to Argentine, Byron, and Durand, which should be a much more interesting ride than what you see now. This is basically just a road for traffic to come in and out of this little bedroom community here. So next time we talk, we'll be on the actual part of this trip that I want to record. So stay tuned. Okay, so not much further now. We'll be able to get started here. It's a pretty little town, nice little sleepy place. Real old school. Lots of shade, that's for sure. So, talking about the camera for a second, I do have the gain on the microphone set all the way to the lowest level for the recording, and I also set the HD off for the voice, and I have the noise reduction turned on, so I'm hearing a lot of wind right now. I don't know what you're going to hear. Guess I'll find out when I play all this back, but hopefully it's all working properly the way I think I want it to work. Hopefully you're getting a good view, a good front angle of the ride itself. And here we go. Now we're going to start picking up here now. I'm going to put my visor down a little bit. Cut the noise back. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. My grandkids' high school and junior high school is up here on the left. I can raise the windshield a little bit. That'll probably cut down the. There we go. That cut down the buffering. That's better. That's a great idea, huh? A windshield that goes up and down. God, I love them old Germans out there at BMW, don't you? All right. So here we go. I'm in comfort mode right now. I want to go ahead and put it in normal mode, which, as its name implies, gives me a not quite as mushy a suspension as comfort would, but not quite the sharpness of sport. I doubt we'll need sport on these roads. It's a very aggressive tuning of the suspension. Couldn't really notice it with the old OEM shocks. Of course, they were pretty bad. They ended up puking in my driveway. Had a big oil stain underneath the bike one morning, walked out, called the dealer, and he said, "Oh, I hope you're sitting down." I'm like, really? It was $2,700, and that didn't include putting them on or off. That was just the price of one shock. Needless to say, I was shocked. So I called around and did a lot of research on the internet. Found a Ted Porter Beamer shop, and I got the front and the rear for $1,700, and a higher quality shock, a much higher quality shock. I think the big difference is they take the electronics packages off of your shocks and put them on the Wilburs, because the Wilburs are made to work with the ESA system, but they don't supply any of the electronics, whether the pre-dampening or the I forget what the one's called that actually compresses the shock. That's the big one. That's the one for a single rider, two rider, single rider with luggage, and two riders with luggage. That's at the top of the shock. Anyways, I'm pretty sure the BMW shock was coming with a new one of those controllers. So what Ted did was I sent my shocks in. He took the preload dampers off the bottoms of each shock, and then the motor that controls the rear shock spring compression. It's got a name, I just can't think about what it is right now. And transfers it over. So what I'm basically paying for are the shocks. and whatever labor he's charging to move that stuff over from one to the other. So part of savings, I got the front and the rear replaced instead of just the rear, which I'm pretty sure the front was gone too. They had 36,000 miles on them. As far as I can tell, I don't know if the original owner ever replaced them or not, but I would tend to doubt it. They're real expensive. That would have cost him $4,000 or $5,000. But those were definitely OEM shocks on there. All right. I know I'm just blabbering, but I'm just trying to keep myself occupied here until the traffic thins out. And when I first bought the bike last October, I had to put new tires on it, new Metzlers. That was $600. And then in February, I took it down to the dealer and had him do a complete service on it. Transmission, air cleaner, brakes, brake pads, a complete thing. And that was almost $600 as well. So as you can see, it runs pretty good. It's real strong. And I wasn't even really rapping on it very hard. I was just basically just going through the gears easy. So I bought a used bike for $12,000, financed $11,000. The blue book was $15,000, and I put $31,000 back into it. So I'm still ahead of the curve on what I could have paid for it, and still had to replace all that stuff. So I'm happy about it. I don't feel bad at all about it. I know what the bike has that's been replaced. I know the quality of the items that have been put back on it. And so I have a higher trust level than if I had bought it used with someone else doing all that work. There's a good possibility they wouldn't have put the money into it like I would have. So looks like we're going to end up having traffic all the way out here. That sucks. BPM doesn't have anything good on it right now. Whoa, geez, take your half out of the center there, pal. Fuck. That's the kind of shit you gotta watch out for. That was that Michigan State trooper. He got killed by a guy with a trailer. But the guy that had actually passed him and then cut him off didn't give enough room to, after he passed him for the trailer. Trooper Chad Roberts, I think his name was last year. He was riding a BMW too. But it wasn't his fault. You gotta watch out, these people in the cages, man. They do whatever the fuck they want. I mean, I own 2 cars, and I get it, but I have more respect for driving than a lot of people. Being that I also ride bikes now, you know, I have a whole different respect for all of it. Even in the normal setting, it's a pretty comfortable ride. I got to admit, it's not wallowing very much at all, but it rebounds nicely. It rebounds very quick. Other than the normal boxer vibration in the handlebars, there's really nothing to speak of. There's no No shimmy, no sway. I had over 100 while yesterday on the highway, chasing after Tommy, and solid as a rock. More so than it was, to be honest. I guess I can tell now those shocks were going for quite a while. I just didn't know the difference because I hadn't really felt the difference. I hadn't felt what a new bike felt like. Oh, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at that, look at that, look at that. Can you wait, please? Thank you. That shit, you gotta fucking be on it all the time, man. You can't take your eyes off the road. Hope I got that on film, or video. Film, listen to me. I'm not that old. I keep telling myself I'm not that old. Alright, here's a little town of Byron. That's a sleepy little farming community. Now I could turn here. That'll actually take you to Howe and the Howe Eagles Club. Instead, I'm going to continue on this way. It'll pretty much take me right into Durand. A little flea market, like a couple of friends when I was growing up out here in Durand lived out here. They went to high school in Byron. Somehow we all became friends, used to hang out all the time. One of my friends used to have an apartment in a building that's no longer there. It burnt down. It used to be right there in the corner. Lived in the upstairs. There's the high school down there. Could go straight. Instead, I'm going to take the turn up here at the top of the hill and catch a couple of nice little twisties that are buried back here. Of course, we're going to have a car in front of us. I'll stop at these tracks anyway. That little transmission noise you hear there is affectionately called the agricultural clunk by the Germans that own BMWs. The transmission on a BMW is made by a company called the Drag, or the G. They're the ones that build all the military stuff back in the 40s for the German army. All the tank armor and transmissions and stuff. So they literally are built like a tank. They say the drag transmissions are used in sports cars and Indy F1 cars the world over. So they're very durable transmissions, but they're very noisy. Hence the agricultural funk. Not bad. I can raise the windshield, keep my visor up. Not a lot of noise there at all. Coal Road, there's a little campground out here. I can't remember the name. It starts with a W. I've taken the grandkids out there a couple of times, a couple of summers to camp out. I found a little local place. We went out there one year and the mosquitoes were so bad we had to pack everything up and leave. But we went out there because we were only a few miles from home. Figured it was the safe bet if they didn't like to camp. I think they were all, 6 or 7, 5 or 6 or 7. Now, if this car wasn't here, we would be in a pretty good lean right now coming into this turn at probably about 20, 30 miles faster. Which is, after all, a sport touring bike, and they do say it's one of the few sport touring bikes that actually they can actually put a sport bike to shame. What it's made for. I do eventually sometimes want to take it on the Dragon. That's why motorcycles are so much more fun than a car. I swear. You just can't get that rush on a car. Not for me, anyway. Now, I could have taken the expressway out here from my house and been here about 20 minutes ago. That's one of the joys of owning a motorcycle. You always look for the long way around. The more interesting road taken. I drive straight to and from places all day long for my work, so watch out now. Come on now. Thank you. This thing has dual Brembo brakes on the front with ABS. A large solid or single disc in the back, but the brakes are what they call partially linked, which means if I hit the front brake and the back brake both activate simultaneously. If I hit just the back brake, then only the back brake hits, and of course it's got full ABS on all the way around. So they'll pull it down pretty quick from whatever speed you want to go. I've never been concerned about stopping this bike. And it pretty much goes like stink. So here we are in Duran, my old alma mater. Yeah, see how fast that brings us down? Oh, the other cool thing about a BMW is I can hit the cruise control at 30 miles an hour, and it actually works. I know my car can't do that. I've actually had it as low as 20 miles an hour and had it work as well. So kudos to BMW for designing it that way. Gives you a chance to take a break when you're going slow through a town. You don't have to hold on to the throttle. And then you can see me hitting the button with my finger. What that does is that knocks it down a mile per hour every time I hit it. Now, I'm sure last week they were having a fair in downtown, so I wasn't able to get over to the area. I had to take a big loop around town to get there, which again wasn't so bad because that's what you do on a motorcycle. You just go out of your way to go anywhere. Oh, need enough for bread? Okay, I'll be about an hour. I always have to laugh when I see motorcycles back parked at a bar. Like they spend all this money on a motorcycle, and they literally ride 3-4 miles from their house to the bar, and they spend 3 or 4 hours at the bar, and then they ride home. Probably why so many of them in Michigan have such low mileage on them. I'm not saying everybody does that, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of guys with a lot of nice cruisers or Harleys that put a lot of miles on their bikes and they enjoy riding. But if you were to do just a survey, you go past the bar in the middle of the summertime, you'll see a dozen bikes all lined up. I mean, it looks cool. They're all back parked real pretty and all, and nice uniform, you know, like somebody come out there with a gig line and said, okay, I need you to pull back about 3 inches. No, stop right there. Turn your wheel. Okay. But I digress. I ramble. Well, this video is only for me. That's for sure. I'm sure no one will ever watch it but me. Now, this is where we're turning for the area right here. It's right down the road. Lothrop Road. I'm going to turn right here. There we go. These tracks are not the nicest tracks in the world. They're not bad, but a little bumpy. Almost there. Get closer on the left-hand side. Just a minute. Watch out now. Stay right there. Don't you move. Thank you. There we are, right there. There's people here tonight. We just do a circle around the back. Here we go. All right, so just got done having a quick bite to eat. I've got the best fish and chips anywhere around here. I was with a couple of my Eagle brothers. Talked about the poker run for tomorrow out here at 8 o'clock. So be back out here for that. So I don't know how much recording time is left on the Prism. So I'll just keep riding and chatting until it stops, I guess. So I think go up here and hit Duran Road. And go out through Lennon. Maybe M21 out that way. See what happens with that. All right. There we go. Man, I just love that power. Got guts. On this continuous broadband. I think above 3,500 RPM. I've never redlined it, but up to 8,000. It delivers all of its power and torque. Oh, I just got a low battery warning. I think that was from the Prism. So, I guess we'll be losing our conversation here shortly, as well as our video. Man, that's a big piece of farm equipment. Look at that. All right. A quick 100 there. Fourth gear. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. This is where we ride bikes out here, bicycles. This is the Lyon route. This is where the Awesome Walker comes out and rides every year out in this area. They go out to Langsburg, which is further west, towards Lansing. But then they end up in Schwartz Creek, which is back east. So, kind of the halfway point here, I would think. Just got a low battery warning. I don't know if that comes through on the video or not.